It's all yours.
All right. Hello, everyone. Today I am sitting here again with Mr. Frank Corbin, the broker of record for REMIC Realty. And today we're discussing international real estate, the investment opportunities involved with international real estate. So, Frank, I'm going to jump right into it. Where are the best opportunities? Where do the best opportunities lie for investing in internationally?
Well, when it comes to real estate, of course, the number one thing is location, location, location. Mm-hmm. And you want to invest where people are going, okay? Right. More important, not only where they're going and they're staying for an extended period of time. Over the history have shown that the longer people stay in one particular location is the more money they spend, which fuel the local economy, which is better for your investment portfolio.
Okay. Now, there are sites such as Airbnb and HomeAway that are sites that are people use for finding places to stay and whatnot. Would that be a good reference point then for someone looking to invest internationally on where people are going and staying?
It's a good reference to start because what happens with companies like Airbnb, they channel or their marketing is based on where people are going either for short or long-term extended vacation stay. And so where they're going to be marketing or where they're going to focus on, people are definitely going to be there for sure. Mm-hmm. But a lot of things you have to look as well. They normally focus on lifestyle environment. Mm-hmm. So where people are going for partying, having fun, all that kind of stuff for the kids, just based on lifestyle. So one thing you also got to look out for as well is lifestyle is normally tied to economical sensitivity. So where the economy doesn't do as well in certain time frame, that particular portfolio area might be affected as well.
Mm-hmm. I can see that happening. So these days we see a lot of seminars for people, encouraging people to invest in the U.S. And a lot of people are going for these seminars. Mm-hmm. Are there good places to invest in the U.S. and would that be a smart move to make?
Well, here's the thing. You can invest anywhere you want to invest. What makes more financial sense for me, because I base my assessment based on financial principles. Mm-hmm. So I would only focus on key locations where you have a high traffic of people going, living, and staying. Mm-hmm. And that area for me is in New York City. Okay. So if I want to invest in the United States, I want to invest in New York City, particular. Now, there's other areas as well you can invest and make some money. Okay, it won't make as much as New York. But if you're going to go out the outskirt, where it's places like Florida, Atlanta, Arizona, away from the major financial capital of America, you don't go there and buy single-family residence. Mm-hmm. They have very little appreciation in some parts, sometimes even none. So if you're going out there, you have to go there for cash flow. The best way to get cash flow is to buy a building, 12, 13, 18 plus unit building. You get cost per unit or cost will become ridiculously cheap, and you get very, very good cash flow. Mm-hmm. So even if the property don't appreciate as much over the years, your cash flow can be extremely high. When you go in the outskirt and you buy these cheap $100,000, $50,000 homes, you're competing on the mass cost of value. Right. In my mind, that doesn't make much sense. So again, I go to a building once you get out to the outskirt.
Okay, so that was leading into my next question, which is, a lot of people go for cheap, like Detroit, places like that. Mm-hmm. That's no? You'd say no to that?
No, again, I don't want to focus so much on the area. Mm-hmm. I want to focus more on the location, the demographic. Is people coming there? Right. Are there employment? Or is there a local economy? And is all that stuff growing? Is the population growing over the next 10, 15, 20 years? Because if the population is going to be growing, it creates a stronger demand for your property when you want to sell or rent in the future.
Mm-hmm. And outside of the U.S., say the Caribbean, are there places like that you'd recommend for us?
Here's the thing once you get out of the first world countries. Mm-hmm. Everyone in the third world countries are trying to come to the first world country. So if you invest in places like the Caribbean and different parts of the world, okay, mm-hmm. you're actually going backwards. Mm. Because there's the currency exchange problem you're going to have, number one. Number two, they're coming here. Mm-hmm. So the middle class that you can sell to in the future, they're coming here. Mm-hmm. And because a lot of them are coming here, and the middle class, they're losing, the currency gets devaluated every year as you proceed. So if you look at, you buy a property in the Caribbean right now for $100,000, and 20 years time, that property you probably double to $200,000. When you convert that money back, there's a loss there for currency.
Right.
If you take the same money, put it into one of the first world country, it could have worth, let's say, 800,000 or 600,000. So history has shown that. And the only reason why this is happening is because they're losing the middle class drastically. And the middle class is coming to Canada, United States, and England.
Right.
And every year, the governments in those countries are forced to devalue the dollar, which is what goes against you trying to invest there. But the good thing about it now, if you're going to invest there, you need extremely high cash flow.
Exactly.
So you need, the number is 4 times. You need 4 times your money. So if you normally get $700 a month on the same kind of investment here in Canada, United States, you need about $2,800 a month to offset the devaluation of the dollar and the loss of the middle class in those countries.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what about places like Dubai? And I hear a lot of investors talk about they're getting excellent cash flow in places like Dubai and whatnot. Do you have any?
Dubai is a unique concept. What's bringing the traffic there? What's causing there? Is it a mass product? I don't think it's mass product. The mass is not moving to Dubai. Selected few, and a lot of workers, and most of them seem to always leaving to come to North America. They all want to come here. So again, it's the same trend you have going on. It might be a short-term thing that's causing that high influx of people, but over time, you're going to see people want to be a part of North America, United States. They want to be part of England, and that has a better immigration marketing plan for the world.
Right.
Yeah.
So generally then speaking, somewhere like Canada would be somewhere that's more friendly towards international investors.
Absolutely. We actually have a program we open up in Canada for international investors. And the United States have the same thing too. In the United States, we call it the Foreign National Program, where people can invest from worldwide in the United States. And Canada have something similar to it as well, encouraging foreign money to come here. And one of the good things we have here that the world loves is the safety of our political safeness. We don't have too many drastic wars and problems politically. Things tend to be very conservative how we operate here.
Right.
Even when things are bad, the world won't fall apart in our world. Right. So that's a lot of encouragement for a lot of investors international, and that's why they bring the money here all the time.
And also we don't have natural disasters such as earthquakes and hurricanes and like you said, political violence and whatnot. So
That's
that
right.
would actually add to the benefit.
That's right.
Of coming to Canada.
So we get lots of money coming to Canada and even the United States as well, and from various parts of the world, and most of them come from the BRICS country, Brazil, India, China, Russia, and South Africa. They bring their money to this part of the world. It's safe. They're making very good return on their money. And one of the driving factor of all this is the immigration program we have.
Yeah.
We have a very good immigration program, and people worldwide is catching on, and they're tapping onto it. And so money from all over the world is moving here. Now we have a lot of issues in the Middle East. Middle class family want a place to escape. They're bringing their money here. They're bringing their family here. So they want a safe haven, and that's what we offer here. So international money is coming like crazy. Yeah.
So as Canadians, the best place to invest internationally is right where we're at.
Absolutely,
Right.
Canada. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Well, I think one thing that's good for us that we're lucky to be living in the GTA. Because even though Canada is a big country, you can invest anywhere in Canada, I still highly think that the GTA is the best way to get to invest and get the best rate of return on your money. People are sitting here making $200,000-$300,000 appreciation in their personal home within 3, 4, 5 years time frame. If you make your money in one place, leave it there. Why would you take it somewhere else?
Right.
So then to take that money and put it into, you have a high quality market here, which is Greater Toronto area. To take that money and put it in somewhere like Alabama or somewhere that is a very not a so high demand as the Greater Toronto area, you have to be nuts. You gotta lose your mind to do something like that. You're taking good money and put it after bad money. You have to be crazy for doing something like that.
Right.
So if you make your money here, keep your money here, keep multiplying money here, buy more of what you own already. It's a no-brainer, right? If you're buying stocks and you're making good money in Apple, leave it in Apple. Buy more of Apple or more of Apple kind, right? It's the same thing for real estate. Just duplicate your money in the same place you're at. Right? Because the same reason why your property moved from 200,000 to 500,000 is the same thing and take it from 500,000 to 700,000. Right. So don't get out. Stay into the market and keep duplicating yourself. Right. Yeah.
Now I know there's still those of us who will still choose to invest elsewhere. And when we do, how would we manage the property? Being in Canada, the properties over there, are there issues with that as well?
Yeah, well, there's always going to be an issue with that. Real estate is a local community thing. Yes. You need to be able to see, feel, and touch your property. Right. If they go drive by your property every couple of weeks, once a month, whatever it's convenient to you, and see what's going on with your property. Okay. When you move or buy a property in a different country, it's very difficult to do that. Okay. You expose yourself to international property management company, which might not have the same value system as you have here to pre-qualify your tenants. Right. Okay, you cannot track your vacancy rate. You cannot track your income and expenses to the property. That's all 100% into the hands of that property manager. If that person is credible, good for you. Most times they're not. And that's what happens when you invest internationally. You need a good property management company managing your funds and your property for you.
Right, right. Okay. I guess coming back to the Caribbean, being from the Caribbean, you hear a lot of us saying we want to get places back home. So when we go back home, we can have somewhere to stay and rent it out in between. Even if there are hurricanes and whatnot, what sort of impact could that have on your cash flow throughout the year? Like what time span, like 6 months, 3 months?
Well, the hurricane is not a problem because the Caribbean have hurricane every so often. You're talking about the financial hurricane, that's a property management stealing from you. Okay. That's probably your biggest concern, the financial hurricane you're going to have. Right. And same thing, you want, even in Florida, people stay in Canada, invest in Florida, and you have a financial hurricane. Yeah. The property manager's taking your money. That's the biggest concern in anywhere. But back to your question concerning the hurricane and natural disasters or weather disaster, you can probably have like a 3 to 6 months no revenue. Oh, wow. And what happens because when there's a hurricane, the economy slows down. People stop traveling, they stop going on vacation temporarily until everything gets fixed up, then they start back again. Right. In the meantime, you have to carry that property until everything gets stabilized again, then the cash flow continues. Right. And that's why it's very important that if you can invest in the Caribbean or Florida anywhere, you need 4 times the revenue. 4 times. So it's for those bad moments. Yes, yeah. it make it up. So if you get those revenue, sure, go ahead. And when there's natural disaster, you have enough cash flow to carry the property until things get back in shape. But the key thing again, never lose sight of that. The financial disaster, your property manager stealing from you.
Wow, that is something that's very important to remember. I have a friend who actually purchased an investment property in Paris, in Europe, and the problem there was that to renovate the property, they had to use 18th century brick. So, and this is something they didn't know. So this is also something you're looking at places like it looks glamorous, but it could be a risk you're taking, eventually a loss. Right. Okay. All right. Now, how do you feel about timeshares? Because I know that was a big thing going back probably a decade ago. How do you feel about timeshares as an option?
I'm not big on timeshares. I have very little knowledge on it. Okay. I personally don't care for it. Right. I like to own things. Yes. I like to have my name attached to something. Timeshares don't give me that option. Timeshares, you're buying time, shares in the air. You actually own a piece of paper. Right. That's what it is. Right. It's a contract. You can cancel anytime. You can terminate anytime. You can extend anytime. It's nothing for me. I want to have my name owned on something. I want to have my name against land. And I recommend my investors look at it the same way as well. And timeshares don't give us that option. Right.
Okay. Now, say I were to take your advice and I want to invest in some land or a building in New York, in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's up and coming. Do Canadian banks provide financing for that, or would the American institutes provide the financing? How would that work?
You got both. You have a lot of Canadian banks right now, from Scotiabank, RBC, TD, and so on. They actually would pre-qualify you, because most of them have the U.S. divisions as well. They would pre-qualify you on your Canadian income expenses credit situation for properties purchasing out of the country. Okay? Now, you're not going to do 100% financing. So what you're probably going to do is look for a government program or a US program for the finance as well. And the one that I recommend, or the one that's available, is called a foreign national program.
Okay.
So still refinance, you take a down payment from your the equity from your personal home or cash, whatever you have it is, and then they subsidize the rest for a US bank, or their US division in America would actually fund the rest of the mortgage for you.
Okay. All right. So there are options out
Yeah.
there.
Or you also can get American banks doing the same thing as well.
Right.
So you choose who you feel comfortable doing business with. Yeah.
Okay.
You have a lot of options.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what about for those of us that are lazier? We don't want to deal with the actual real estate, but we still want to play in the international game. How do you feel about the stocks, investing in real estate stocks?
Well, again, if you invest in real estate stock, one of the options you have, you can buy REITs, real estate investment trust. The other thing you can buy is as well is investing in the stock itself from builders that actually build homes in the United States or worldwide. Again, when you're buying electronic stuff, you have very little control over the end results. Because your investment is subject to everybody doing something the right way. And they're not doing anything the right way, then your investment can not perform as well as you want it to. The other, if a person is really, really lazy and they want to do something electronically but still safe, I probably recommend second mortgages. It's a good option. With second mortgage now, you actually have a strong piece of paper in the sense it's a contract, but you have a lien with your name on that particular person's property. So the person stops paying, you can power sale or foreclose the house, and you take it over. So that's probably the easiest way for investors to get involved in the real estate market without actually buying and owning a property itself, is second mortgages. Not syndicated mortgages though, second mortgages, where you have your name attached directly to that particular property, not somebody else's name, your money through somebody else. Right. Very important. Ownership is important when you're investing your money. You want to own or control whatever you actually put your money at. Yeah.
That sounds like an excellent topic for our next discussion, talking about how you get into the whole sector.
The electronic market and still have security. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that sounds like a good option. Now, let's just touch on international real estate fraud. I know, like, going back to, I believe it's the 80s, people were buying swampland in Florida, and it's something that's always happening. How do you safeguard against that?
Well, you can minimize, but you're always going to have that. That person in whether it's Florida or the Caribbean, anywhere, they know you're not there. They know you're not living there. So your portfolio of money is exposed to their level of trust, how trustworthy they are. And so you're always going to have that. So one of the things you can try to minimize getting yourself involved in some form of scam is tap into a local real estate firm. Local real estate firm. Most real estate firms in the first world countries are governed by a body, that looks out for the public. Like, for instance, in Toronto, we have RICO that looks out for the consumers, to protect the consumers. So you're being protected. In the United States, you have the same governing body that protects the consumers from realtors or real estate brokers doing fraudulent stuff against the average person. When you go to the free market, there's nobody regulating that. It's just the courts. So if you're going to buy in some place like Florida or anywhere in the United States, you want to get access to a local realtor, a local real estate broker, and then start working through them and take it from there.
Okay, so we've touched on a lot of different areas of international real estate investing. So let's just give it a brief rundown. What, again, are some of the pros and what are some of the cons? If we can just list them out so that our audience has a clear idea.
Sure. So one of the pros in buying internationally is the price. That's the biggest reason why people jump internationally, not because they think Florida is nice and hot and all that kind of stuff. The price, With price comes limitation. If the price is low, that's because there's a population problem, there's an employment problem, there's a local economy problem, Now, there's places like certain parts of Orlando, you can buy a property for $100,000, $50,000. There's other places like 20 minutes from Orlando, a place like Windermere, Florida, you can pay $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 for the same size property. Right, so different clientele, different market share, This place in Orlando, Florida is more expensive than Toronto. Again, demand, quality of living, and the local community demographics, income level, all that kind of stuff. The con is you're 300-400 miles, 1,000 miles away from where you're at right now in Toronto, Canada. There's a limitation there. You cannot go visit your property, something go wrong. You can't go and call a local plumber because you're not there. So you need good property management help you to administrate that kind of stuff if something does go wrong. Can you trust him or her? How long are you able to pre-qualify them for? And all these kinds of things. All those things become the cons when investing internationally.
Right.
Next is, if the population is not growing drastically, the price wouldn't appreciate as much over time. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any value, though, in, suppose, getting a property that is not appreciating, but you're getting that cash flow? Like, it really depends, I guess, what you're looking for then. Right?
Well, you can do that. You can get a property that's not appreciating, but in cash flow, and that's fine. But the problem is cash flow you get taxed on today. Equity you get taxed on tomorrow.
All right.
So if you're looking for cash flow, you can start a business. You don't have to buy real estate for that. So a lot of people they kind of confuse them. If you're investing in real estate, investing is for the future, not now. If you're looking for income replacement, start a business, right? So two different things, and we kind of confuse them. So you get all this cash flow, you're getting taxed heavy on them now, and later on you sell your property, you make no money,
Right.
right? So you're investing for the future. You want that money in the future, not right now, right? And so that's what happens there. So I don't like just cash flow. I want everything. I want cash flow. I want appreciation, which is big value for me. I want mortgage paid down. I want them all. Now, what appreciation gives you that cash flow and mortgage paid down takes a longer time to do. Appreciation gives me that ability to refinance my first property, buy my second. Refinance my second property, buy my third. With good appreciation, your portfolio can expand ridiculously in a shorter time frame. Otherwise, you got to take that $500, $1,000 a month you're making in your cash flow and save it up every single month for 5 years.
Exactly.
Okay? So if you look at what you're saving in 5 years, 60 grand. With appreciation, I can get that in 1 year. 2 years, I'm 120. 3 years, 300,000. We've seen that kind of number in the GTA already in Toronto market, right? So it allows me to refinance my first home, buy my second. Refinance my second, buy my third. Say over a 5 years time frame, you can have 2, 3 properties on your belt.
Right.
That's what appreciation gives you.
All right. Well, there you have it. Frankie's just given us a great rundown on international investment and really why you should stick to the GTA, in my opinion. So thank you once again for joining us. And as I said, I think next time we'll be discussing second mortgages.
Second mortgages, electronic. How to get involved in the electronic real estate market and still have control and security with your money.
All right. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
To your success.